Welcome to Scripts and Giggles with Shoshanna
and Marnie.
So, life is lifing.
Girls, I don't know if this is the winter blues, the spring blues, the February blues, the March blues, Wednesday blues,
Just blues.
whatever blues you want to call it.
Blues Ivy.
There's something in the water. There's something in the air. Maybe like, I don't know, sometimes I feel like, is this stuff because there is a big change about to come?
Maybe.
I feel like I've been noticing, and maybe it's just because I was saying this to my therapist, like maybe I'm just always looking for signs of stuff. But like, I feel like just the people generally are at a low point as well.
I agree, yeah.
And something's coming.
Maybe
It's the sun.
the Lord.
Maybe that's what it is. Once, 2 weeks from now, when it's sunset at 7:00, we'll be like,
Yeah,
you know
we'll
what?
change. Oh,
I'm actually feeling great.
Maybe, and also when Easter's coming.
Easter's coming.
Depending on when this comes out, Easter will either have been here or has come.
It's now March of 2025.
Well, Easter's coming, so maybe that's that. Maybe that's what they excite. Maybe that's something exciting is coming.
Yeah.
But at the moment, it's been a bit meh.
Yeah, I saw a guy in my local co-op the other day. I was buying milk, as I like to do, as I'm always buying. I always feel like I'm buying milk. It's really annoying. I eat too much cereal.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how much milk are you taking? Because I barely drink milk.
Cereal every day. Well, every day when I'm at home anyway.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's my breakfast when I'm at home.
Yeah.
And
What cereal do you have?
Weetabix.
Really?
I've had Weetabix since I was a little baby.
Do you put sugar on top?
Honey.
Oh, okay. Because when I was younger, that was the only way I could eat Weetabix, like a layer of sugar.
Yeah, Weetabix by itself is an acquired taste.
Yeah.
When I don't have honey, I'm always
disastrous.
Just like, damn. But do you know what I've noticed? I could have Weetabix without honey with regular milk, because regular milk's quite sweet.
Yeah, that's true. You mean
now that I have
milk?
Yeah. Now that I have lactose-free milk, like it's not as sweet because that's all the sugar basically.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But yeah, I have it with honey. I'm in the co-op. This guy, I don't know if he got ID'd or what, but basically they're like, you don't have money to buy he'd taken 3 bottles of wine. They're like, you can't buy this. And he was trying to walk out the shop. They're like, you can't.
Bruh.
They had to take the wine off him. I said, is this what we're doing now?
Yeah.
Stealing wine from a co-op.
Sometimes you just need the wine.
On a Sunday night.
Sometimes you need the wine to get you through the Monday.
3 bottles?
Sunday scaries. They're real.
It was just like, I was like, what is going on with the people collectively?
I know. I think it just feels a bit like a lull and a lull period.
Yeah.
But we'll get out of it. Girlies will get out. We'll see the light. The light will come.
Listen.
Tomorrow.
Take whatever joy you can in whatever ways you can take it.
Yeah.
I put my makeup on today and I said, hey man, you look like a normal person.
Yeah. I hoovered my house.
You did it!
Yeah, I hoovered my house on like Monday. You would not tell by the carpet looking now. But I hoovered it and I cleaned up the house and I felt just a little bit of joy from that. Just be like, okay, my space is clean. My bins still need to be emptied, but my space is clean. I need to empty it. I need to empty it today. But
I have a cleaning schedule and I'm so behind it that I just can't. Now I'm just too scared to even look at it because I'm like, I have like 17 jobs I need to do one day. I can't do it. But I'm home tomorrow.
Oh, that's good.
And I'm just gonna like flip between work and home stuff and work and home stuff as a treat to myself, if you can call it that.
Yeah. I also tomorrow's the first time I'm working from home all week, which I think doesn't help. You're working. I know this is crazy because before the pandemic we used to do 5 days a week in the office, but doing 4 days in a week in the office back to back, fam, it adds.
It's so funny
really
when people talk about that because it's like. That was crazy.
It was.
Why are we here? Monday to Friday. Why are we here?
Can I not do this job at home? Yes, I can.
So why am I here? And I'm sure I've spoken about this on the pod before. My old boss would fly from Belfast on a Monday morning, be in the office Monday afternoon, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday morning, and then fly back to Belfast. Every week.
That's crazy.
So on Friday the office was empty and I was still sitting there.
Yeah.
Why? And if I wanted to leave early, I'd have to call him and be like, can I leave? Is it literally nobody's been in all day? And he'd be like, oh, what if?
What if what?
I'd just be like,
someone magical's gonna come in at 6 p.m. on Friday.
On Fridays I did my own personal business.
Do you know what? That is quite good. That is good when you can.
I know nobody's coming in here.
Yeah.
I've got my emails open if anything pops up, but I'm buying new clothes.
Yeah.
I'm looking at holidays. I'm just doing my own thing.
Yeah.
Getting my affairs in order.
Why not?
There's no one here. But it's crazy to think that's what we had to do before, because like once you introduce working from home, it's like that's what everyone's doing anyway when they're working from home. They're doing their work and whatever home stuff they need to do.
And it's a great balance. You have a bit of, sometimes you have a good work-life balance. Other times you're working till stupid hours because you're at home and then you forget, I need to actually have lunch and dinner. And
you put the TV on at lunch, so now you're kind of kidding your brain into thinking that, this is fine, and it's like 9 o'clock and you're still working, but the TV's on too.
Yeah. Wait, I'm resting. No, you're not. I am looking forward to working from home tomorrow though.
So am I.
Just to not have
I've got a meeting at 10:30, which I might just sack off. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just so tired. Yeah. And it's like, at this point as well in the year, everyone is so busy taking generals. I don't know, I guess you guys don't really do generals.
What's generals?
Generals are like where...
On your leave?
No, generals are like, agent sends you a script and you read it and you know you're not going to make it, but you meet the writer anyway.
No, we don't do that. Actually, no. On the creative side, we wouldn't usually. Sometimes they'll send stuff and you'd be like, "Thanks." Silence. Thanks for sharing your portfolio. It's great for us to see.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then maybe in the future,
we
really need this creative, and you may come to mind. Not always.
Yeah, exactly. It's basically that's what it's supposed to be. But like, my company is so busy. I'm so busy. Yeah. They're like, these generals are like, I read your script like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
But this was the earliest time we could find because I've been so busy. You're going to come in now. You're going to pitch me ideas. I will not have time to really think about. I will pitch them to my bosses. They'll be like, we're too busy for this right now. And then I'll just pass on it. It's like, why even do the rigmarole? I might as well just tell you, no thanks, but no thanks. Like, don't bother coming in. Because I feel like you will inevitably get excited if you go in to meet someone.
Yeah, it's true. And this is what the creative industry was. We were talking about this off pod, but there is a lot of like, there's a lot of rejection. There's a lot of hopes being raised. It's very few and far between in terms of seeing like things making it from pen to screen. So
it's a tough one.
It's a tough industry.
But at least I'll be in my house. That is the only thing.
I'll be honest. The fact that I can work on this same sofa tomorrow makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Potentially.
So shall we get into pop culture
news?
news?
We'll bring a lot more energy. We were low, but we're excited that we're here to
talking
review.
To you guys.
Yeah, talking to you guys about all the things that are coming up. And let's do pop culture news.
Oscars for this week?
Oscars were this week. Thoughts on the winners and the dresses?
Literally don't care. I do have thoughts on the dresses though.
Winners. I would say congratulations to my love, RDJ, Robert Downey Jr.
Who?
I think he looked great.
There was a bit of scandal. Both with Robert Downey Jr. and with Emma Stone, that they weren't very
the way
nice to the people that they collected the awards from.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't. Sorry, it's 2024. I think you have to be aware. I mean, being a white person must be really difficult because you have to be
so
aware of all the people to ignore. Don't ignore the people of colour.
Because there were basically two Asian people
and
collected
they snatched the awards off
No, I know that what's her face from Everything Everywhere All at Once. What's her name? Michelle Yeoh did put a message out going, I gave the award to Jennifer Lawrence so that Jennifer Lawrence could give it to you because they're best friends.
But do you know? But if you watch that, she's actually offering it to her first. Yeah. Emma Stone is holding it. Then somehow it's getting passed to Jennifer Lawrence. I don't give a heck if that's your friend. We were friends.
Yeah, and then the other guy...
The point is, the person who won it last year is supposed to hand it to you this year. I don't give a heck if that's your friend.
I really like that idea, like handing the baton.
Also, what did Michelle Lawrence win an Oscar for?
But Jennifer Lawrence, she won for...
Jennifer Lawrence.
Didn't she win for Joy? Or she won... No, Silver Lining Playbook, which is like absolutely not a film that would be... Oscar winning.
Wasn't that like a good 5 or 6 years
ago?
What was the order of the women lined up?
But then I saw a lot afterwards as like a
Jessica Lange was there. I was like, when did she win it? No. She won that Oscar like 20 years ago.
There was a photo call of all the winners from like the past 10 years. So it was quite a nice thing. But yeah, it was very weird the way they...
I just didn't get the order in which they were lined up on the stage.
Maybe
it in order of winning?
Or maybe they just brought random winners from the past.
They said your mates, you can go.
Come on. RDJ, I think it was like some excitement. He just like snatched it. I was like, yay! But he also looked a bit awkward. Like, what do I? There was a lot of
people. He didn't even look at him. He just took it off him. Yeah, and was like,
woo! There's a lot of people on that stage. I was like,
yeah. I don't know who.
You don't need it.
I don't think it's if the whole point is having the person who won last year handing it to the person who won this year, just have that person on stage. Done. I don't need to see every person who's ever won an Oscar on stage now.
It's fine.
It was really confusing.
Yeah, it was.
They also were lined up in a way. I thought they were about to do like a choir performance. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, it was. To
me, doing the like in memoriam. Yeah, they're gonna sing in the eyes of the angels or whatever while the pictures are going.
It was very crowded, but look, I'm happy for him because everyone kept doing the whole like side by side 1999 to 2024 where he was in jail at one point and he even made mention to it. For him to see that big redemption is now winning an Oscar, congrats.
I mean, it's really easy to redeem yourself when you're an Nepo baby. But we move.
You know what? I was watching something about it on TikTok today where like people were saying he had chance after the chance.
Literally,
like, chance after
about?
chance. Network, yeah, but there's some people out there who's having chance after chance and still flopping.
Let's see if R. Kelly gets to win a Grammy after he comes out.
Okay, but I'm so sorry.
Let's see.
There's a big difference between RDJ doing some drugs and.
Let's see is all I'm saying because
R. Kelly doing a lot more
after chance after chance. To be fair, he had chance after chance after chance.
I think he's done. I think there's some people that are literally blacklisted. I cannot imagine Kevin Spacey coming out and winning.
He's tried. I don't think he'll win an award. He's been in a film since.
Has he?
Yeah. I don't know if people saw it.
No, I don't. Yeah.
I don't think the marketing led with that.
No, I don't think the face. I think there's certain people that I feel like they're done. Him and the cannibal guy. What's his name?
Armie Hammer. I think Armie Hammer could come back from that. He didn't actually eat anybody
that we know of.
Yeah. And again, he's a rich man. I think he'll find.
Yeah,
I think the problem with Armie Hammer is that his family are so dodgy.
Yeah.
That there will be a scandal again. Yeah. Whether it's him at the heart of it or his dad or someone else in his family. I think you just got to pack it up.
Yeah, let it go.
Just live on the money that you guys have and mind your own business.
That's what they're probably doing.
Yeah.
But
does he have kids as well? Was he married?
Maybe.
What was the vibe?
Oh, that's it.
I can't remember. They did a documentary about him. That's how much he's not coming back from
I don't think it's the story was wild.
Yeah, it was. Outfits. I felt very strongly. It hurts my soul to say this because I love her to pieces.
Lupita Nyong'o.
No. That outfit, I was like, this is fine. As in, like, it wasn't... but it wasn't like... Like, it was just like... Sorry, you guys can't see my face, but that wasn't helpful. That was just sound effects.
Yeah.
It wasn't the greatest dress I've ever seen her in. It wasn't the worst dress I've ever seen her in. She looks great in that shade of blue. The fit of the dress was nice.
Yeah.
She dresses much older than she is.
She does. No, she does dress older, but she is still. She's not as young as people think she is. She's in her 40s. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the feathers.
She could slide up a bit.
She could.
Got great body. Gorgeous face.
She does.
Dresses like someone's grandma.
I do think about when she came onto the scene with that red cape. Oh, that red cape dress. It was so gorgeous. And then the blue. I think the red cape dress. I think she wore for the Golden Globes, and then she wore this blue dress for the Oscars. Yeah. But I prefer the red cape. It was just. It was so memorable. It was just But yeah, who was the person that got your eyes?
Issa Rae wore the most dull.
Which dress for the award?
She wore it on the red carpet. It's like this dark green, partly velvet V-neck. And I don't mean this as an insult to people that shop there, but it looks like a dress you could get from House of Fraser. I shop at House of Fraser. I'm not a snob about shops. Yeah. I think you can always find
gems anywhere.
But for you to have hired a stylist to put you in clothes, and this is what you guys collectively decided on, and then you left your house, and then you got on the red carpet and you said, I saw the dress and I said, is this a goof?
I didn't see that dress. I saw the dress she wore to the after party at the Vanity Fair one. I really liked that. And it was very simple. It was black and white, but it was like a white bow that was like carved out and constructed around her. It looked really, really good. I'm trying to get these photos up, but I didn't see the green one. I saw Cynthia Erivo's green dress.
In the leather.
And I wasn't a fan of that either.
I don't think she has great taste.
I don't really see her that much on the red carpet anyway, so she's not someone I check for.
I didn't like Ariana's dress.
Neither did I.
think it swallowed her up.
100%.
It was just too much for her tiny frame.
Also, I don't know. There is something going on with her face. There is. I'm not trying to like bash her, but there is something. Maybe it's the blonde hair that just doesn't.
Yeah, I don't love the blonde hair.
I think because it makes her look a bit ill.
She looks gaunt as well, so it doesn't help. It's like she looks gaunt. The blonde hair washes her out.
Yeah.
I know she's back in her white woman era, but like, this was a miss for
No,
me.
it's not. It wasn't. I don't know what it is. Even when in the next and yes and not next and yeah, yes and video, she still looks really thin and frail and
maybe she is ill because
she's tiny and real like.
But wasn't there a thing where when people first saw how like thin she looked recently? She made a post or someone made a post where it's like you shouldn't comment on the way that people look because they might be going through something, and so everyone sort of shut up about it. Yeah. So I don't know if, again, I'm not actually trying to body shame her at all. I'm saying that the dress swallowed her up.
I agree.
And then the hair washed her out.
Yeah. So it looks. It was just too much.
Yeah, I just didn't love. I do not like that dress.
I don't think.
I don't know who I would have liked that dress on. To be fair, it's just big for no reason.
I think it was. You know what? It was the poofiness of the sleeves or whatever that
like middle section.
Middle section was too poofy, and then I didn't like the ruffles of the dress anyway. So I don't think it will look good. I was trying to think of Divine Joy.
She could maybe have
pulled it all off a bit, but I still feel that the dress needed improvement. I feel like the dress needs to be a lot more simpler, less ruffles, maybe a different type of material, and then you have that pink thing over it. But maybe you just didn't need it. Like,
yeah, it was
too much. I liked what's her face's dress. A lot of people were wearing Balenciaga, which I just want to flag. Like Kim was wearing Balenciaga.
I didn't see her at the room.
She was at the after party.
Oh, I didn't see
the after party. I think had really good looks. The girl who was married to that guy from Kings of Leon, Carrie Mulligan.
She wasn't married. No, Mumford and Sons.
Mumford and Sons.
Kings of Leon.
Sorry, white boy band.
First of all, Kings of Leon are a Christian rock brand.
Are they? Crap.
They're not, but their influences are so clearly Christian rock. So Mumford and Sons are not.
Yeah, the guy from Mumford and Sons, that guy. Her dress was very cute. Everyone was saying that. Who else really stood out?
I liked Zendaya's, but like it's very rare that I see Zendaya on the red carpet and think flop.
Yeah,
she ever flop?
No, she doesn't. It wasn't my favorite look that she'd ever worn, but she's been hitting it out of the park for the last the whole Doom press tour.
I didn't love that denim corset thing that she wore.
Oh, is that the one that she wore to that African American Awards?
I can't remember. It just made her look very long.
Oh really? Okay. I don't
know. A way that, again, as a wide shoulder sister, that wasn't the cut for us. Okay, sissy.
No, but most of the time she really hits at the park. The Doom press to Wales, she wore that I think it was like a Mugler silver.
Yeah, like
basically something out of Renaissance.
Coat of armor.
Yeah, that was really cool. And then she wore some other really cool. She wore that suit thing with what's his face, Timothy Chalamet. They looked really good together, but I think she always knocks it out of the park.
No, she looks great.
She never disappoints.
Law Roach never.
No.
He tweeted, at this point, who am I even competing with? Which was something like that, and I was like, do you know what work?
You're not even lying. Like who?
Because I feel like a lot of people looked nice.
Yeah.
But like the girls aren't giving the looks. You're only giving looks more the boys. When the boys show out, the boys show out. The girls nowadays are just not giving.
What's his name? Domingo.
Gorge.
I think he's probably my favourite man to see on the red carpet.
Gorgeous.
The guy
great colours usually.
Always the guy who said that was dressed up like a lesbian, Barry Keoghan. Oh my god!
I said hot lesbian.
Yeah, but either way, the thing is, he always shows out. He either shows off with nothing on, or shows out.
It's that thing of. Do you remember we were talking about Cardi B, and I was like, some people can't be asked to be here.
Yeah.
And some people are aware of the fact that I don't know when I'll be back here.
True.
So this might be the only photo I get to frame in my house of me on the runway.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it
all I can.
Everything.
Yeah. So I just saw Issa Rae's dress.
What's that?
Nothing. Do you know what? It's not even flattering on her.
It's not flattering. It's not. What even is the colour?
It's like dark green, black, and also
the material
two different materials.
The
top one looks really cheap. The slit is way too high, and it's not helping her. It's not helping with her legs. She's got an amazing figure.
Yeah,
I feel like my figure is quite similar to hers a bit.
I love that.
It's just not doing. It's not doing what
you
it
have
needs
bigger boobs than her.
Yeah, I do. That's so true. But I feel like, no, I relate with the thigh. Like, I think...
I also have a thigh.
I have a thigh, but she's basically, this is not doing it for her.
No, it was not anything's right behind
the person that I do also feels like she should be dressing really well, but doesn't as well as Emma Stone.
I think Emma Stone picks good colours, but bad cuts.
Maybe, but also
like the style of dress is always
pale.
Like there's always just like one extra thing that makes you go, oh.
Could have done, yeah. But also, I think because she's so pale, that when she wears like colours like she did at the Oscars, it just again washes her out a bit.
I feel like I quite like seeing her in like a peach.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm always expecting her to not pull it off, and then I look at it and I go, do you know what? The problem with this dress is not the colour. The problem with the dress is that there's a lot going on.
Yeah, true.
And the colour on top of that is like, oh, great.
I mean, I'm looking at the photo now. It's cute, but...
This?
Oh yeah, who's this person?
She's in Anatomy of a Scandal and...
Sandra Hüller. I love the dress. It's giving me...
what's that? Zone of Interest?
Yeah.
That dress?
It's all nice.
That's what I'd wear.
It's giving me like... I think it's an album cover with Beyonce, and she's on... it's reminding me of like the Diva cover, and I don't know why it reminded me of that, but it gave me that vibe.
I didn't like what Florence Pugh was wearing either. The bodice of the dress and the skirt of the dress don't look like they match. No. They don't look like they're from the same dress.
No. I think Carey Mulligan was probably one of my favourites in terms of like classic style. Divine looked very lovely as well, and the light blue was what the girls are wearing. Jennifer Lawrence, whatever, I don't know what that was. Yeah, Ariana Grande, no. Billie Eilish, no. America Ferrera, I thought it fitted her really well.
That's why there's nothing wrong with that dress. It's just not exciting. No,
the dress should have wore to the Barbie premiere, but not to the Oscars.
But also, I think that part of it is, I think if you're America Ferrera, you're not thinking I'm going to win the Oscar anyway. So you're like, I'll just wear
whatever.
A nice dress that's not gonna. But I actually feel like if I'm not going to win an award, I'm going to try and steal the limelight. Yeah, the dress.
Anna Taylor-Joy.
Yeah,
I liked her dress.
Well.
Her dress was really nice.
Yeah.
Really cute. Kirsten Dunst.
Simple dress.
That is a wedding dress. That's your reception dress at your wedding if you wanted it.
Yeah, just a bunch of.
The boys have really shown out. Bradley Cooper with his facelifts looks great.
That's not what we were commenting on.
No. Cillian Murphy. Charlize always looks lovely. She always looks like she's a Dior bottle. Like, was it not? Yeah, J'adore Dior. Oh my goodness, is that Ava DuVernay? I haven't seen her in a long time. Haley Steinfeld.
I feel like I like this look. I just don't think it's for the Oscars.
No, I think it's for
a costume party.
It's
hate this.
Yeah, Emily Blunt. No,
I don't like this.
I don't know. It's the shoulders and it's the crotch. Schiaparelli, Greta Gerwig, cute. Oh, Riz Ahmed was there.
You can't wear that coat.
No, she's too short. Yeah, it's too short. No offense.
Sorry, you can't wear a 3/4 length coat if you're like 5 foot. Stop.
Catherine O'Hara, cute. Gabrielle Union, why is she here? No.
Oh my god. Not you trying to stop black people going to events.
No, they should come to the events, but I didn't know she was nominated for anything. Oh, Regina King, gorgeous colour. Orange. I've seen the cut before, but she looks great.
She always wears stuff like that.
Yeah.
Though. She always looks great. She
always
wears something that looks great on her body. I always feel like when in doubt, just wear something that looks good on your body.
Vanessa Hudgens announced her pregnancy. Congratulations.
I didn't even know that was a thing she was doing.
No, but she's always.
But
did you turn around and you could see the bump? So Eva Longoria looked very classic. Yeah, very stylish, classic.
Eva Longoria is Ryan Gosling's wife, right?
No, that's Eva Mendes.
Okay.
And then John Krasinski.
I did not like that.
He needs to iron it.
I did not like that. It made him look fat.
The worst one I think was The Rock.
Yeah, that badly fit. It was badly fit and horrible material.
Oh, absolutely bad. The wrinkles. Oh.
One other thing I wanted to talk
about. Laverne Cox looks
in vintage Mugler looks absolutely stunning. I also didn't know why she was there, but she looks great.
She hosts the E red carpet.
Okay, she's stunning.
But the gold bodice, this is the outfit you wear for the red carpet.
And this is a moment.
At the Oscars, this is the right one.
I feel like the girlies are forgetting that it's about a moment.
But I think everyone's trying to play it safe. Oh,
Why? You're not paying for these shoes.
Yeah, he looked very sweet. I do
Good
think
jacket.
this year, yeah, she looked great. I'm not just jumping through everything. What's this? Chris Hemsworth and the wife.
Not and the wife.
Isla or Isla Pataki.
It's Isla.
Isla Pataki.
Isla.
I had that with Isla Fisher.
Isla Fisher.
But I be honest, I think everyone plays it very safe when it comes to setting awards.
Boring.
Because the thing is like, if I win, is this the photo I'm gonna have when I hold my Oscar? Most of them will never, but
I'll tell you this right now. If I ever work on a show that gets nominated for a BAFTA and I'm at the BAFTAs, this is what other people's viewing experience of that will be. Oh, wow, yeah, that show won. That's great. Look at, oh, yeah, that's the director, that's the writer, that's the lead. Who is that? She looks incredible.
That
is the moment I'm going to be given. Because I don't know when I'll be on this stage again.
Yeah.
And I don't want to open the paper tomorrow and see people shriveled up in the back. No. Make way. And also, because it's me, I know that I will be the director will feel inclined to carry my dress.
You are done.
For me to get to so people will be watching this, be like, "Who is she?
Who is that? Do you know what?
It reminds the moment.
It reminds me of the Cannes Festival where is it Amok?
Amor Clooney.
No, not Amor Clooney. The model, black model. She wore this like gold silver dress, and her skin was Amok.
Yeah.
Yeah, her. She was. We forgot her name, but I remember.
Look it up. I think it's Amok.
Yeah. Yeah, she was a moment. Her dress was incredible. Her skin was just luminous. And to me, I remembered her.
Why was she there?
No idea. I think she's a model.
Yeah, but why was she at Cannes? Just to be a model?
No, she wasn't at Cannes. She was at the Met Gala. She... Oh my God, what's her name?
It's A-M-O-K.
A-M-O-K, yeah, got it. Yeah.
Amok.
Yeah. It was memorable. Like, and she was on top dress, and I was like, "Who is this girl?" No idea.
Yeah, she got booked for a lot of things.
She got booked afterwards, yeah. So that's your moment. But I think when it comes to the Oscars,
my moment at people's weddings.
No, you can't do that at people's weddings.
I can do what I want when I want.
I can do what I want. No, you come in a white dress and.
I would never do that. I don't need to do. Yeah, I don't need to wear white top stage.
Wearing a dress.
I don't need to wear white top stage, baby.
Do you know who I also thought looked great? I looked at a lot of after party outfits because I think the girls came for the moments then. Like, what's her face? The woman who played Barbie.
Margot
Robbie came in really beautiful, like gold. I mean, corset. Like, that's the best way to describe it. Corset. And then Cardi B looked really lovely. But it was like the same dress that you usually would see her in, but it just accentuated every single body part. It was great.
But she had like a thing with Mugler, so that's why often I guess her outfits probably all look like they've been designed by the same person because Mugler always dress her.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. But yeah. So yeah, it was. I think the fashions were probably more interested in the awards, but I'm very happy for Robert Downey Jr. I'm happy for Divine.
Did you see the discourse about Cord Jefferson?
Who's that?
Cord Jefferson is a writer-director who won the Oscar for adapted screenplay.
Was it American Fiction?
American Fiction.
Yeah.
I think he gave a speech that was people liked during the show, but after the show, he followed up his speech talking about how the film industry should, rather than making £20 million movies that nobody sees, they should put money towards smaller budget films, right? Yeah. Because clearly there is an audience for them. And he was speaking about how, and if you've seen the film,
I haven't seen it yet.
This basically, try not to give any spoilers away, but no, I think this is in the trailer, but it's about a black writer who,
it's funny.
Kind of,
because you watched it, the trailer I found a bit funny that it was like...
Oh, no, it is funny, but kind of, it's not like... It's not a romp.
Yeah.
But it's this black writer who, he's a professor who sort of writes about African American people, but with an academic lens.
Yeah.
But his books are no longer selling. His job put him on sabbatical.
Yeah.
And he is trying to sell a new idea and nobody wants it. So he decides he's going to write what seems to be selling right now, which is these sort of like trauma porny, blaxploitation type books. Like like We's in the Ghetto type stories.
Yeah.
Issa Rae's in it.
Yeah.
And then that book takes off.
Yeah.
But the discourse in the film is specifically talking about why is it that there is only one narrative of blackness that is continually peddled by the people that make decisions about those things. So, in the same way, he said in his speech, like, the story that I told in American Fiction was about a middle-class black man, right? And we should be able to tell more stories like that, is what he was saying. Like, black people are not a monolith, right? We're not all We's in the Ghetto. But, like, those stories exist for a reason, but we should be interrogating why those are the only stories that we can tell.
That and slavery stories.
Oh my goodness.
What
the
happened?
Next day, the internet said, This is the problem with middle class black people. They feel like they're always doing class politics. Oh, we're not allowed to be ghetto according to them. I literally had to leave Twitter because I was like, oh, we've lost the plot as a people. And I've said many times on this podcast that you go onto Twitter and the discourse that black people are engaging in makes you think, oh, we're not making it out. And I was more blown away by the discourse because it was people who hadn't seen the film who were who were also inevitably proving the film's point to be valid. This is exactly the problem, right? He didn't say you can't tell those stories.
It just needs a balance. We need different stories.
And you guys are arguing that we shouldn't have a balance. What do you want?
I don't have Twitter. I mean, I don't have Twitter on my Twitter app on my phone, and I only go to Twitter when I see things on TV that I think, oh, maybe people are talking about it right now, aka Love Island. I'm so glad I'm not on it because I don't think it. To me, it's just too stupid. It's just ridiculous.
I feel like the reason why I inevitably had to delete based on this is like I was like, you spend too much time on here, and you will come to the realization that humanity is all. Like, everybody is not just stupid, like, a level of stupid that is actually like, oh, I cannot believe we even function as a society.
No, it's hard because I feel
and I'm not saying I believe that in real life. I go about my day all the time. I meet people in real life who are incredibly intelligent and kind and witty and funny and interesting and make me feel like, oh, yeah, this is why we exist, right? Because we all have these different viewpoints of the world and they come together and we learn stuff. You go onto Twitter and you think that's what's going to happen. But it isn't people learning stuff. It's just people fighting for the sake of fighting. What are you mad about? You are mad about an assumption that you're making about somebody's speech taken out of context that you haven't even listened to in full about a film you haven't watched. Why have you taken time out of your day to write 18 tweets about this? And I'm not saying it's not valid that there is sometimes a class thing about black people being like, once you've like, you know, reach a certain status, you don't want to engage in hood politics. You don't want to engage in those hood stories anymore. And the truth of the matter is there's probably more people living in the hood than there are people living in, you know, a middle class lifestyle. But that doesn't have actually any bearing in art. Like, art isn't about you have to reflect every single person's experience. Wrong, actually, you don't. You have to reflect an experience. And what we're saying is, for some reason, black people get pigeonholed into, you guys are only allowed 2 experiences. And he said, it would be nice if we could have 4 experiences. And you guys said, no, we want the 2. Yeah. That's what you're saying when you're fighting him. And the worst thing is, the person you should be fighting is the white man. And you're sitting here fighting me.
Why? I feel like we had this discussion, maybe on or off the pod, where it's like, we're always fighting each other.
I said this when...
Oh, it was a reality TV. Was it? Yeah. When you see reality TV and you realise, like, that is a reflection of what's going on in our society.
Every damn day. Just the most... We are having the most boring, basic... I don't mind discourse. I think it's important to discuss things. But we can't move past level 1 of that discourse. Why are we still here talking about this? We need to be focusing our energy on the white people that are telling us what stories we can and can't tell. That's what the film is about. Why do we allow white people to dictate to us which of our stories are valid enough to share and which ones aren't? And you guys said, because that's what I want. Because I don't think you should get to tell your story.
Jesus.
So then, okay, let's let the white people choose then. Let's just continue with that. And then these will be the same people when Mea Culpa dropped. Oh, Tyler Perry always drawing one. Shut up!
We have yet to watch that film. Oh, I think that's next week.
Yeah, that'll be next week.
Because
you have to shut up.
I've never seen. It's so crazy because before Maya Culpa came out, everyone was like, "I'm excited to see this Kelly Rowland." Then they see it. It's like, oh, it's always Tyler Perry movies. What's going on? This is the ghetto. But I said, I can't. I don't know. Well, we'll tell you what our thoughts are. But like,
I don't think. I will say this because this will be the first Tyler Perry film I've ever seen. But
I've seen a couple.
I don't think you can go to a Tyler Perry film and then be upset it's a Tyler Perry film.
No,
what?
There's a level. Unfortunately, it's got to a stage in his career
where he makes a certain type of film,
and he does not have loads of writers. It's just him. It's coming off the brain, the dreams, the passions, and the emotions of Tyler Perry.
But the worst thing about this is, you guys will still watch the film.
You still watch it. What's the point?
So you can't, like, it's this weird thing where you think you're protesting by going on Twitter, but you've actually already voted by watching the film.
Why do you think the guys...
This becomes the biggest opening, the biggest viewed, the largest viewed film on Netflix. Guess what Netflix are going to do? They're going to buy more films from him.
Why do you think the guys need to build a $1 billion lot in Atlanta, a filming studio? Tyler Perry Studios.
And then when someone says, you're right, let's make something different, you'll say, no!
No, you can't.
So what do you want?
Also, if it was something different, would you go to the cinema and watch it? No.
That's what I mean.
Let's be honest.
At that point, I was like, I have to come off this because I think that the issue with Twitter is that it's taking all of the people that might actually be able to affect real change out of the real world and putting them on the internet thinking they're going to affect real change. You're not. You're on the internet arguing with bots, first of all. Like, at one point I was like, I have to believe these are bots because the way that these tweets are springing up every half hour with the same message. How do we know these aren't the Russians paying bots to come in here and break down the black community?
I feel like the Twitter is just an example of like the loudest person always thinking they're winning. So they just be loud. It's a platform for loud people who want to be loud.
You're loud and you've never made anything in your life.
Let them keep on talking. Honestly.
What have you made?
Nothing.
So why are you even getting on your high horse about this situation?
To me, it's just...
What culture do you consume that gives you the right to then really participate in this conversation? Because these will be the same people who watch the same show over and over again, have 5 films that they watch when they need to watch a film, listen to the same one album, and then be talking about it, and then I feel qualified to talk about the state of...
And that's, I feel like Twitter, at times TikTok, depending on what side of TikTok you end up landing on, is the same thing. People who want to talk for the sake of talking. And after a while, you have to switch it off because you end up, like listening to the rubbish or just being like, I can't do this and I have to jump out.
I will say, watch American Fiction.
I do want to watch it.
Watch American Fiction. I am more than happy to engage because I did go into the office on Monday and 2 people had watched the film and we had a conversation about it. And I was like, I'm not saying this is the world's greatest film by any stretch of the imagination. I think it was trying to do something and I think it ended up being quite effective in what it was doing because look at the discourse it's created.
Yeah, that's true.
But why are we still having this goddamn conversation?
No. I think it's also because it's like... It's hard. I was going to say, it's because we don't have enough diversity yet in black storytelling, which we still don't in terms of what actually makes it to screen. But also, is it because we're always holding ourselves back?
Yeah, we are. I think
we don't.
I actually think we are holding ourselves back because we don't engage. We were talking about this in the office. We were talking about Riches, actually.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, how many people actually watch Riches?
Not enough for people to then. There was more people shouting about it than there actually are. And that's why perfectly honest.
And Riches these will be the same people being like, I'm fed up of seeing only black gang shows. Then when we try and make a different kind of black show, you're like, I'm not watching that.
The thing is, the loudest voices. When you see those shows like on the Netflix socials or the other socials on TV, and they always say, renew this, bring back this. Why are you cancelling this? But these people weren't watching it because if you were watching it, they wouldn't have to cancel it. Let's be real. Let's be honest.
And the answer is not like. One of my colleagues was like, I make a point of watching any and all black content, right? Because I know how difficult it is to get a show away in this country. Yeah. I will sit down and watch it. That's the least I can do for you. Yeah. I might not love the show. It might not be for me, but I can at least say, I watched it and I came to that assumption. Yeah. You're seeing a 2-second trailer going, no, I'm not watching that. Yeah. And then be hopping in the next breath on Twitter saying, why is there not enough black show?
Come on.
you are having a conversation you're not qualified to have. Yeah. Or that you don't even really want to dig into, because if you dig into it, the answer is we are not watching it.
You're not watching. Well, you will happily sit there and watch the Real Housewives, Love and Hip Hop. No offense to them. No. You will invest in it, and if you invest in that,
Zeus, everything that's the Zeus network.
Why do you think there's a whole Zeus network? If you're willing to invest in that, then the industry
get more of.
And the execs will be like, oh well. I see. You like this, so therefore we'll plug more money into Real Housewives of Atlanta.
This stuff is making us look ratchet. Okay, but you're watching it.
Done.
And I'm not saying we can't have ratchet TV. Again, just in case anyone's listening to this who's also unaware and or misunderstanding me. I'm not saying we can't have ratchet TV. I think that white people have ratchet TV in the forms of like The Only Way Is Essex, Geordie Shore, Jersey Shore. That's ratchet white people. Yeah. We can have ratchet black people shows. But when you really look at what's coming out and you realise, oh, we don't have anything but this, that's when you need to be asking the question. And to be mad at someone for asking that question and turning it into a class ring and turning it into like, oh, you made a film for white people all of the time. It's just like, these are so like level one conversations that I do not see how we can ever change this situation if we are still on level one when we need to be getting to level 10.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
So, well, we'll just keep an eye out. I definitely want to watch American Fiction. Do you think it was worth the Oscar?
I think it was really well written. Okay.
I mean,
I would love to read the book actually, because
it's based on it's based on the book adapted.
Yeah, I would love to know like how close to the film
the book is.
How close to the book the film is.
Yeah,
maybe that way around. But also I did last year, and I think in recent years. One, because like I used to work somewhere where my boss was a member of BAFTA, so we would get all the BAFTA screeners, and so I could watch all of the films. Yeah. But like, I didn't really go to the cinema last year. No. Haven't really been to the cinema this year. So of the things that were nominated, there were maybe I would say 3 that I'd watched.
I don't think I've watched a single one. I watched
American Fiction after the Oscars. No, I watched it the day of the Oscars actually.
Yeah.
So American Fiction, Barbie.
Barbie. Yeah, I haven't seen Oppenheimer.
I haven't seen Holdovers yet, but I do want to watch it. I haven't watched Killers of the Flower Moon.
I want to watch Anatomy of the Fall.
Yeah, I want to watch Anatomy of the Fall. I haven't seen that yet.
I haven't seen that. I do think that all these films need to go back into the cinema.
Zone of Interest, I haven't seen yet. Yeah. I saw Zone of Interest advertised and it was literally on for like 3 days. Yeah. I don't know what's going on at the moment.
The cinemas need to, do you need to use this boost from the Oscars and put these films back in? Because I don't remember these films being in the cinema. The only film that I want to watch I know wasn't nominated is Past Lives, which is on Netflix. I need to watch Past Lives. But yeah, I just maybe it's just my mindset or just my mood. I'm just not in the mood to go to the cinema. I don't watch a lot of stuff. Or actually, I don't watch loads of films in terms of like the streamers. Apart from if it's something that was really talked about, like Saltburn. So yeah, I don't know. And also, maybe I just want to watch something light in the cinema. That's why I wanted to go and watch Anything But You. It was like light. I feel like all the other films is going to be heavy. So maybe I'm just not in that particular mood to watch stuff.
I was going to go to cinema and watch American Fiction on Monday. Yeah. And then it came out on Amazon.
Oh, it's out already? Okay.
So I watched it on Amazon. Okay, and I was like, well, that's not helpful.
Yeah, that's
But also, having watched it, I was like, why on earth would I have gone to the cinema to see this?
But I remember when we went to go and watch... Did we watch something together? And we saw it in the trailer where I said... When we went
it was American Fiction!
Yeah, when we went to go and watch Beyonce. And it came up and I said, that's a streaming film. Honestly, we're getting to the point where when we do the rare times we go to the cinema, we watch the trailers and we can tell you right there and then...
Do I need to be sat in a cinema
to watch this? And the answer is probably no.
I honestly think the last film I saw that I need to go to the cinema for was Beyonce.
Barbie. Oh, yeah, sorry. And Beyonce.
Barbie, I could have watched at home, not going to lie.
I think, given the fanfare...
We ended up watching it in quite a small cinema anyway, so I might as well watch at home.
Given the fan... And we didn't even wear pink. No. Given the fanfare, I felt like it was good watching the cinema. Like, I wanted to go to the cinema to watch it, but after sitting there and watching it, it could have easily been at home. I
think the last film I saw in the cinema that I thought, I'm really glad I came to the cinema to watch it.
Yeah, I agree. It was Beyonce.
No, but before that, like actual drama film.
Yeah, what was that?
Parasite.
Ooh.
Parasite is the last film I saw in the cinema where I went, I'm very glad I came to the cinema to watch this.
I haven't watched Parasite. I think it's all the films that would get me to the cinema. I hate to say it, is the Avenger films. Marnie's eyes are rolling back, but like I used to love going and watching it, and it felt like it was an experience, and like it's built for a cinema. It was created for a cinema in terms of the effects. And again, I loved all the actors, specifically Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans and all that. You want to see them on the big screen. So that was what was excited me to go and watch it in the cinema. In terms of drama, I think the thing that I really enjoyed was when we went to watch that film, The Farewell.
That was lovely.
That was, I'm
gonna cry.
It was like, I'm telling you, it was tears. But that was really enjoyable to watch. I really like that. I also like Crazy Rich Asian in the cinema as well.
I really like Crazy Rich Asian. Like, I feel like...
What's the Asian films? They're doing it because I really enjoy... Yeah, I enjoyed watching that in the cinema as well.
I was going to say that, and then before that, I think I'm saying that as like times that really stood out to me, like the experience of being in the cinema stood out to me.
Were you going to say Everything Everywhere All at Once?
I didn't watch that in the cinema.
Do you know, I watched it twice in the cinema. I fell asleep twice.
I watched it at home. Gone Girl.
Oh, yeah.
And that was what?
That was,
10 years ago.
That was memorable.
I will never forget being in the cinema watching that was being like, what that was wild.
Actual
heck is going on?
We went to watch it at Peckham.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, we went to go watch it somewhere.
I know, we went to go watch it somewhere, and that was the first time you were like, did you like the film? And I was like, yeah. You're like, you didn't move or say anything.
Because again, we've got to the cinema, before that we used to go to the cinema so much, I knew when you liked something very quickly, and when you didn't like it, it was the huffing and the puffing. Continuously. But it'd be very quick, like 10 minutes in.
You'll be like, I'm over this.
I'm like, fam, we haven't even got into the narrative beat. We haven't even got into the dilemma. The tension.
This is going to be shit.
Again, it's only one film that you know that I hate it and I wanted to walk out. But there's also been another film that I've also hated, but I went with my dad and my siblings, and I absolutely hated it. It was called like Hoodwinks, and it was based on like a reenactment.
It's like cartoon.
Yeah, it was cartoon. Like a reenactment of like Robin Hood. No, not Robin Hood. Little Red Riding Hood. It was so bad.
Do you remember when we went to see Girls Trip? That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
I wasn't expecting to like that.
Yeah. I remember when we went to go and watch Black Panther, and then our girly friend was just
that was really fun.
That was really fun. It was so fun. And then the girly friend was like, what's his face? Michael B. Jordan. And I was like, yeah, he can get it.
Everyone in the cinema was in their like traditional. Well, some people in the cinema in their traditional wear. It was in
that was a vibe. That was a vibe.
And when we went to see Get Out There.
Oh,
incredible!
And that was wild because also the whole apart from us, a lot of the couples were interracial.
What do you mean apart from us? We're not a couple.
No, not apart from like us black people. Oh my god!
Don't be spreading misinformation and hunger on the podcast.
That was my stomach rumbling. Apart from us, there were a lot of couples that. When I think about the grammar, it does make it sound like we're a couple.
Apart from us.
Mind you, we weren't even a couple, it was three of us that went.
No, I know.
Yeah, so apart from the three of us that went together.
There were
other couples.
Don't say other couples, because that's what's making it sound like we are also a couple. Apart from us, there were couples there.
There were couples there, they were all interracial. And like, all I kept thinking is the conversations you're going to have when you get home. I also watched, You. What's the film right after Jordan Peele's film? Us. That was not great.
Oh yeah, we did watch that in the cinema.
That was not good.
We did watch that in the cinema.
Yeah.
And then I went to your house afterwards, and you drove me home.
Did I?
Yeah. We had to go to your house for some reason.
I thought we did. Was it that time?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was wild.
Because we were talking about it in the car.
Yeah, crap.
Don't know why.
That's when I used to take my sister's car.
That was so random.
That was so wild. I haven't driven in so long. I'm actually very nervous.
She can't drive.
I can drive. I'm just nervous when I have to get back into a car. But yeah, should we just move from one ratchet to another ratchet?
Yeah.
Love is Blind.
Love is Blind. It's
It's over finally. I mean, the last time we reviewed it was like the first batch.
Yeah.
Since then, it's finished now. And we've had the reunion. Thoughts? Or do we just go through some of the couples and just...
We can go through the couples, but my overall thoughts were... I don't know who Netflix think they are, but the staggering episode, like, one by one, where literally nothing happens in them was crazy. Yeah, so should we go through it?
Yes,
by couple?
Let's do it.
Let's just start with Jimmy and Chelsea.
Yeah.
James and Chelsea.
Yeah.
basically, what I said in our last episode about
Jimmy and Chelsea.
Love is Blind. Sorry, I don't know why I couldn't remember the name of the show. I was just staring into abyss. My brain stopped for a second. Was that argument they have when they're on the honeymoon would come back to bite them.
Yeah.
And really, every argument from that argument was basically that same argument, but worse.
Yeah.
So they come back, they move into a flat, an apartment together for the duration of the experiment. Very soon it becomes clear, I think, obviously because Chelsea's job is being a flight attendant, she can't work.
Yeah.
He, however, is working, and she is lonely and bored and has nothing but time to spiral.
Yeah.
So her friends come to visit, and she's like, he hasn't kissed me all day. And I'm like, can you imagine? I just can't imagine ever sitting down with you and being like,
my man has only kissed me one time today. He usually kisses me
like,
4 times.
I would need you to slap me across the face and be like, get a grip.
Oh my God.
I'm embarrassed that you felt that was an okay thing to share with me, first of all. And I'm embarrassed that you think that is something to be worried about.
But I think that's the kind of relationship that she has with her friends.
100%.
For them to be able to talk like that.
Like, she's like, I'm a really affectionate person. I just always find that stuff so weird because it's like, you can be as affectionate if you want. If I'm not affectionate, what can we do?
Yeah.
I'm not going to come up and kiss you every damn day. I'm not going to do that. If that's just not who I am.
Yeah.
So then for you to be getting upset, like I think you can absolutely have a conversation with your partner where you're like, I am an affectionate person. Yeah. When I give you a kiss, I want you to reciprocate. I don't want you to be like, oh, get away from me.
Yeah.
But you can't force me to do so, especially when we've been going out for what, a week, really. I'm not going to become a different person overnight.
Yeah, true.
And it felt like her wanting to bring that up turned into a bigger argument about how he's never affectionate with her. He doesn't make her feel like she loves him. So then he's like, so you feel like I don't love you? And I tell you every day that I love you. And then she's like, no, I don't feel like you love me. And he's like, you're being really clingy. She's like, you're calling me clingy? That turns into a whole thing. And then she was like, you're calling me clingy? I just went upstairs and had sex with you. And he's like, yeah, I didn't want to do that either. At that point, I would have been like, yeah, I'm going home.
It's done.
I'm going home.
I feel like...
I'm not going to have that air on national TV that man said, I want to have sex with you, girl.
I think it's one of the things about this show, or that first argument, that it's something that we talked about in previous pods, is it's so important to know how your partner argues. Like, it's probably important before you decide to go down the aisle to have a dispute one time, at the very least, so that you know how you argue. Because that first time that they argued, and the way that... I know alcohol was very much involved, but her voice...
But alcohol clearly was involved in every argument.
And I think she kind of flagged it, that there was a lot of that influence, but she panders on, repeats herself, and then she does this like whimpering voice, and it's absolutely so annoying. I don't know how we would put up with it, but kept on saying, I love you, I love you. He will say everything that she wants to hear, but she's not hearing it.
Yeah, but she will just be continue to hold on it.
Yeah.
So I don't know about whether this affects everyone, but I know for me, at least personally, if I feel like a conversation is never ending and there's no point to it, I'm going to start to get annoyed.
Yeah.
So he is trying to be as patient as he can, but because he can't, there doesn't seem to be a resolution to the conversation. Now I'm going to say something that's going to hurt your feelings, which is going to make the argument last even longer.
And that's what happens when you told her, I didn't want to have sex with you anyway.
You didn't want to have sex with me? But you came out of that. It's just like that constantly. It's so jarring. And honestly, like, I didn't think they were a good fit for each other anyway. No. But I was like, how? The maddest thing about all of this is whenever they'll have an argument, the next day she'll be like, we're so good at communicating.
Huh? What?
What are you talking about?
The wildest thing. Absolutely wild. I mean, to me, when they reconciled... Oh, yeah, that was the second argument they had.
No, that was the first argument.
That was the first argument. They had the second argument where she talks about the whole... You slept with her. Friend. You slept with your friend. Which I love the teaser they did, because everyone was like, he slept with Jessica, even though all of us was like, how?
All of us were literally like...
Again, did he have the EpiPen ready when you saw
her?
Did he choke? Did he choke? Because really, I could... Now seeing Jimmy and Jess, there's no way they could have...
No, I think she would have forced it.
Yeah, but I just...
But it would have been forced.
It would have been forced. Like, they would have got out of the pod, then she'd look and be like, no, kind of like how I expected it. And then the attraction would be the biggest storyline.
Yeah.
But when that was revealed, so that I feel like, the nail in the coffin. But
that argument starts like this. Jimmy's left me on my own in the house. He comes home. She's like, you left me all night. He's like, I went out for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
She was like, but you didn't even try and bring me. He's like, I literally asked you if you wanted to come and you said you didn't want to come. In the time that he's been out, she's just been in the house drinking. So she is drunk having this conversation. She's like, I don't want to be with someone who goes out. He's like, what? She's like, you lied to me in the pod. You said you don't go out. He was like, I said I'm not like a out every night kind of guy, but of course I go. Who doesn't go outside? Yeah. She's like, I couldn't be in love with someone who goes outside. So then he's like, so now you're telling me you don't love me because I went out the house. She's like, yeah, because did you go and see Jessica? I know you went to see Jessica. I know you're attracted to her.
That's when I knew she was spiraling.
Like, what are you talking about? And she was like, well, you're out with girls all the time. You probably fucked them. I know you fucked your friend. So then he got upset because he was like, I told you away from the cameras, piece of information. I'm still not quite clear as to why this is such a big problem because who knows? She didn't say what friend.
No, he didn't know. But I think he's in the heat of that moment, knowing that he told her not to say anything.
Yeah, and it was one of the friends that came to see them.
And I think we know which friend.
I don't care.
Dark-haired friend. Dark-haired.
Does it even matter?
It doesn't matter, but I think it's because, production makes sure. The way that friend was talking about Jimmy, it was just, she knew him intimately. Okay. And not just from a friendship perspective.
Well, she's saying, it makes me uncomfortable that you slept with your friend, which, okay. That is something we could have discussed, but now you're throwing this in with, I'm not allowed to leave the house because I slept with my friend once and that makes you uncomfortable. Like, are you actually hearing yourself? This conversation is crazy. And Jimmy, this was when I was like, damn, I'm Team Jimmy. It's when he stood up, he was like, so you want me to take a step back from my friends, would that make you feel good? And she's like, yeah. And he was like, I'm not going to do that. And then he walks in the house and I said, oh no, he ate. Yeah. I fear he ate with that one. Then she's like, where are you going? He's like, I'm leaving the house. Yeah. I don't want to be here with you right now. Like, I told you something in confidence which you've thrown in my face. You're drunk. You're telling me I can't go outside. Like, this is crazy.
It's wild.
She's like, please don't leave. I love you. I just was like, oh my God. I feel like anyone who's ever been in a toxic relationship before, or anyone who's just had a conversation before that started one way and somehow ended another and was like, what the hell's that? Yeah. Could absolutely relate to that conversation because she would do this every time they argued. As soon as he pushed back, she'd be like, I love you. I love you so much.
But even those times, maybe the first argument the first argument, he kept on saying, oh, I love you. I was like, you guys don't know each other. You guys are using this love word as if it's like cotton candy, or what is it called, popping candy, where you're just throwing it out there, but you don't know the impact. You're saying you love them, but I think Jimmy loved the idea of marrying Chelsea.
Yeah.
Jimmy loved that he could bring her to the house and they could be a family unit that he's always wanted. Yeah. Telling me for real you love Chelsea, like I couldn't believe it. Their personalities were so different.
I think that he would have worked his ass off, or at least worked for the duration of the show at the very least, to make that relationship work.
Yeah. Then,
despite whatever, if the issues hadn't been insecurity based, right? If it was just like, we have different lifestyles, or you don't look the way I thought you were going to look, blah, blah, I think they absolutely could have worked through it.
Yeah.
The problem that was inherent to this couple that meant that they couldn't work was that she was constantly seeking validation from him, and he felt like he was giving her the validation, and yet she was still seeking validation from him, and he didn't know how to give her what she wanted, and eventually he would get tired and he would say something, argument would it was just that as a cycle, and they had argued enough times where you could see that was a cycle, and her saying the thing about the friend was the last straw for him, because bear in mind, I slept with this person before I met you. For you in an argument to throw that in my face, it's exactly what we're talking about cheating, right?
100%.
If you're doing that now,
you can do that at any time.
Let's pack it up.
Yeah. And that person's not leaving. Like, this is a friend, you know?
They go to a cookout where Jess is there and Trevor is there.
Yeah.
Jess and Jimmy meet for the first time. They have like a sort of closure type conversation. I think he's very respectful of his wife in that moment and very aware of the fact that his wife was there and he doesn't want to disrespect her.
Yeah.
So I don't think he did anything untoward. I actually found Chelsea's conversation with Trevor was a bit like, steady yourself, being like, oh, you know, I love you, blah, blah,
like, what?
Chill out.
Yeah.
Your partner is on the other side of the room. Like, I think because Jimmy was so like, about, like, I don't think he wasn't worried, but I also don't think he would have particularly cared if she got...
same.
If she went with Trevor.
Yeah. Because they weren't that tight. They weren't that close. Even though in his head he thought they're the strongest couple.
Yeah, he was handling it a bit better.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he got upset. Yeah, he gets upset that day because she keeps talking about how every other couple is stronger than them. But I think the reason why he probably got upset is because that's not the first time she's brought it up.
Yeah.
And that is, again, pointing to the insecurity thing of, like... So now when we go out, we can't even just enjoy a time with our friends without you being like, they are so strong and we are not strong. Yeah. How can we get as strong as them? Blah, 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 blah.
There's a competition aspect and he's like, let's just focus on our relationship. Forget the outside. I mean, when I first watched it and he kept on, he argued and he wasn't happy about the whole like strongest couple comment. I kept on thinking, like, why do you care? Yeah. But that being said, and even in this conversation, it makes it clear that it is the growing frustration of how she viewed them and perceived them and also perceived herself. Yeah. Like, I don't think she ever felt like she was worthy of having Jimmy. No. Which is also wild because it's Jimmy.
But they then go and have a conversation. She tries on her dress. Yeah. And she's met his family at this point. He's met hers. Yeah. It's just before the wedding.
Yeah, they have like one last date before the wedding.
Yeah, and he sits her down. They have the date. They sit down. And he goes, "So how are you feeling about the marriage?" Which personally, if I heard that question, I'd be like, "Right, he's gonna say no." Let me back it up. She's like, "I don't know," which I thought was kind of weird as well.
Like they get married in 3 weeks, or like a week time.
Then he's like, "Well, are you gonna say yes or no?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna say yes." And he was like, "Well, I'm not."
That shocks me.
I said, "Oh." He was constantly gagging her. I'm sorry, he just came on the show. It has such great moments of like, I will say, like, I don't know, maybe I'll revisit the series and feel differently, but I actually feel like he was quite a clear communicator. Yeah. Like, he was never, I don't think he was manipulative like Clay was, because I feel like when you get down to the Clay thing, I think when you keep talking about something, it sort of loses its, like, edge, and what it means starts to not mean anything to you. But the fact of the matter is, like, the idea of even teeing up to me, like, oh, I'm just really scared I might cheat. Just so maybe in the future, if you do cheat, you can be like, see, I told you. Like, that's manipulative. That is, it just is. Yeah. I don't think Jimmy was ever manipulative to her. I think he really was like, we just need to make it to the end and then we'll get married and it'll be fine. And it became clear, she's just not the person I can marry.
But I do think that he probably knew that when they tried to reconcile after that big argument. Because to me,
he said that though.
Yeah, I mean, when he said no, like at that dinner with Chelsea, I felt, oh, why couldn't we have this conversation when they were in the house and he had come back over and said, oh, I'm sorry I walked away, but I don't think this could be it. But she did try and wear him down, but it felt like it was like a plaster being put onto a bandage, a wound that was really bleeding very heavily.
Also, not to be like not to put my producer hat on, but I do not think I think they are very much encouraged not to break up before the wedding.
I think there's a financial incentive, I think.
I heard the same thing. So I imagine that he held out for as long as he could and then was basically like to production, I don't give a fuck, I'm not going to the altar to embarrass her, which I respect, and to embarrass myself, bring my family out here for what? True. I mean, it's embarrassing anyway when you meet the family. Yeah. And you're telling them this is a guy I'm going to marry, and then like 2 weeks later you're calling them back being like,
sorry, it's not it. But also, I mean, the fact that even when they were trying on dresses and he was trying on suits, the whole time, I'll be frank, I didn't think it was going to happen. Like, I didn't think it was going to be a yes at the altar. Even as much as he was saying that he loved Chelsea, I just couldn't see it. So, like, even though it shocked me and he said, oh, I don't want to marry you, I was shocked probably by the way he said it. Like, really teed her up. It was so blunt. But I wasn't surprised that they weren't going to say yes. So, and I think it's good on them. I don't think they would have made a good match. Even when I saw them at the reunion, everything seemed to be calm. But I just, even seeing them as a couple, I couldn't see. So
I think that what I liked about seeing them in the reunion, and that's the thing about Love is Blind that actually keeps the show feeling authentic in certain places is that there is clearly an intimacy between these two people. Like, they have shared an experience.
Oh, yeah, they have, yeah.
And when, I think it's when they're either asking him about Jess or, when Trevor is speaking to her, he, like, squeezes her thigh.
Oh, really?
And then she, like, squeezes his hand. It's like, these two people didn't get married. Yeah. Probably a lot of resentment and hurt and whatever. But in the moment, if you need me, I'm here.
Yeah.
And that is, like... And to Kenneth, and we'll get to Kenneth and Tiffany, but in the same way, I feel like it would be crazy to go through an experience like this. If you genuinely thought you loved someone, come out the other side and be like, and I'm never going to speak to you ever again.
Sure. Unless it was serious hurt like Jeremy and Lauren.
Yeah, exactly. That one, and I honestly think, had he handled it differently, they probably could have got past it. But it was the fact that he very much seemed like he was like, I'm ready to live my life with Sarah Ann now.
Yeah.
I had one conversation with her and she's who I want to be with. That it was done after that.
Yeah. I mean, also just broke the trust, so...
I think the trust was broken, but it was if you're telling the truth...
Yeah.
And it was just a conversation, and you love me and you want to marry me, why would that end our relationship?
Yeah, that is true.
She said, it's the fact that he didn't even try to fight for me.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, cool, I guess that's that.
Yeah.
And that's not the way you behave when you love someone. So that means you never loved her.
Yeah.
You was just, doing it to get to the... Like, I don't know what his game is, but we'll come to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, they don't get married. At the reunion, it's not clear if they're seeing each other, they're not seeing each other. There is conversation about Jessica and how she fit into the situation, but now Jessica and Chelsea are like best mates, which is weird.
Yeah, that was...
I mean, it's not weird. I'm glad.
Did they have a session?
Girl power, friendship, all of that stuff. I mean, it was just weird.
What, Chelsea and Jessica?
Yeah, it's just weird for Chelsea and Jimmy's relationship to have Chelsea now be best mates with the other person that he was in a love triangle with. Like, I mean, it's like, imagine if he and Chelsea were to try and get back together. Now Jess is just gonna be around.
True.
Like,
I think for them to be best friends means that the door was closed for
you have to close that door.
Yeah. But also, I would say that Jessica went on the files, and she was basically validating everything that Chelsea was saying in terms of, like, Jimmy used to party a lot, so she's not really surprised by how Chelsea's reaction was. But now I know that they're friends, I think it makes sense.
Jimmy used to party a lot. When? On the show or before he came on the show?
I think they were saying before he went
on
the show.
How would you know? You didn't know me before I came on the show.
I just
think that's so weird. You met me in the pods. So unless you're going to tell me you've known me for 8 years and you guys was pretending.
But also, apparently where he lived was like in the party town of Charlotte, whatever city/state they're in.
Okay, so if you get a flat in the area, that means that you live that lifestyle.
Maybe.
Maybe I'm just a Jimmy defender.
Maybe you are. Maybe Jimmy's the guy that's for you.
I wouldn't go that far. I just think that, like, Chelsea was the one that was the most toxic in this relationship. Yeah. And pushing all this, and Jimmy used to party, does not excuse the way that Chelsea handled herself in that relationship. Yeah. No one can watch the two of them and be like, well, you know, Chelsea's completely valid in the way she conducts herself. The way I don't think your insecurities are your insecurities. You're gonna have them, right? There's nothing you could do about that. The way that those insecurities presented themselves is something you do have control over.
100%.
And she vomited them onto Jimmy, and again, because you're not doing the work, you're not going to therapy. I think she thought she would find someone who she'd get in a relationship with, and they would fix.
Yeah.
All those insecurities. Yeah. And if the insecurity wasn't the relationship, it would move to something else. She would find something to be insecure about, because you have an insecurity you have an insecure attachment style.
Yeah.
There's nothing
else to do.
There is nothing that no one could have told her that would not have amounted in an argument. Because a person can only... You're not perfect. Yeah. At some point, he would have done something and she would have been like, this is proof that you don't love me.
Yeah.
How can you live like that?
I mean, and that's why he said no. He said, I can't do this.
Yeah, and he saved her, because she would have happily married him. Yeah. Talking about, but we've been so happy. He was when he told her no, she was like, "Why are you saying no?"
Yeah, it was, but then she switched, and then she switched quick.
Yeah, she was like, "Well, I will think about all the stuff I put up with you." And he was like, "This is exactly why I do not think we can get married, because I'm able to voice what my problem is with you. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm saying our relationship is not good. We can't get married. You're now pulling out that you had all these problems with me, but you was just now saying you was going to marry me. Yeah. So did you really have problems with me, Or were you just going to bottle all of that up, get a ring on your finger, and then do what with it?
Yeah.
We would have been divorced in a week.
Yeah.
It's not every day, get married. Just picking a random guy off the street, you have 4 conversations with him, you've seen him twice, and now you're introduced him to your family, and you guys are going to get married and be together forever. Like, it doesn't make sense.
I mean, every time we talk about the premise of Love is Blind, it is wild, but yeah. Especially when you know the couple is just not destined to be together. It just is like, don't force it.
Don't force it. Who should we talk about next?
Amy and Johnny.
Yeah, that's quick. Amy and Johnny.
Good on them.
They make it to the end. They get married.
I mean, there's a lot of conversations beforehand about contraception.
Yeah, which didn't really make sense.
Because Johnny didn't want to get pregnant, neither did Amy.
But she didn't want to go in birth control. So they were thinking about getting a vasectomy when they decided not to get a vasectomy.
I mean, AD said at the bachelor party, she was like, that girl has slept with Johnny. And I actually do believe it. I don't think they would have got it down the aisle. Got down the aisle without, throwing it back.
I don't really care. That's the problem. I also just don't care. This is not even a scandal that I care for the answer about. They are happy. They like each other. They really don't have any issue. Even the contraception thing was more of a conversation. It was a discussion. It wasn't an issue. Yeah. And then they got married. Yeah. And their families all liked each other.
I was going to say, I really loved Amy's dad. I mean, he talked a lot, but I think he gave a lot of wisdom, and I felt like it was just a very safe, comfortable relationship. Basically, as Amy said, Johnny's not her type. And so Love is Blind works in this sense because she met someone that she never would have dated. Same thing with Cameron and Lauren, i.e. Lauren wouldn't have dated a white guy. So yeah, I loved that story, and yeah, they were a calm couple, and the fact that they were the only couple to say yes, both sides, down the altar, and still together, it's a miracle. Because this season, it's actually quite crazy to think about. It was like the Hunger Games. Who would actually get to the end? Each one, couple by couple, week by week, was just dropping like flies. Men were not giving. I think that we say this every season, but like, really thinking about it. I was thinking about it when I was watching the reunion. I was like, no matter who Chelsea chose, she would have been in the shit. Agreed. And no matter who AD chose, she would have been in the shit. Agreed. That you guys are not vetting these men at all, and then you're putting these women in situations where they're fighting for their lives. Doesn't make sense. Yeah. I mean, Chelsea, I don't think she should have been on the show because she has stuff she needs to work through. AD also, based on the way this Clay thing play out, probably has some things she needs to work through. But there are some things that you can actually work through, and there are some things that are like, oh, you need clinical help. Yeah. And Clay. Matthew. I mean, even though Matthew didn't join, I think we can all agree they both do need the latter. I think Clay said that he did need therapy, and he probably still needs to.
Should we talk about AD and Clay?
Yeah, let's do it.
So AD and Clay. This is the summation of this relationship. AD and Clay will have a conversation in which Clay will make it immediately about him and how tough it is for him to figure out if he's going to be ready to get married, because I don't know if you know this, his dad used to cheat, and so now he's thinking that he might cheat, but he really doesn't want to cheat, and he hopes he doesn't cheat. He might cheat, but he doesn't want to cheat. Does she understand how much he doesn't want to cheat? And they will always cut to AD's face with this blank look, where you can tell she's just struggling to even follow the conversation. Yeah. And every conversation, she would be talking about herself and something, he'd be like, yeah, that reminds me of something I did once, which also reminds me of my dad. And I was like, you have to shut up about your dad. Sorry. Yes. You have to shut up about your dad, because at this point I'm thinking you want to marry him. Stop.
Or you want to emulate him, but you're worried that you're going to cheat. A lot of that conversation to me is wild, because imagine you're on the first date with a guy and the first thing he says is, I'm worried I'm going to cheat on you. That's the end of the relationship.
You're not going on the second
date.
There's
no second date.
You're not going on the second
date.
Like,
and AD knows that. I feel like maybe she was wrapped up in the experiment and the whole idea of like, you have to make it down the aisle.
I think AD had a moment where, because of what happened with Matthew, she went back to type. Yeah. And she said at the beginning, I have a history of dating these, like, basically being Captain Save-A-Ho. Yeah. And then went on to date Clay, who told her every day, I'm the hoe that needs saving. And she said, oh, don't worry, I'm the captain. And then was like, I can't believe he left me at the altar. You have lived this exact scenario more than once.
Yeah, you know the signs. You paint your nails red when you have red flags. You should be painting.
And yet here you are again, because this is the thing that people never want to acknowledge, and I think that's why TV exists, because TV is so much about the patterns in human behaviour. Yeah. It's really hard to break a pattern. Yeah. It's really hard to break a pattern. She knew in the pods, Clay is the exact kind of guy I should be staying away from. But because the Matthew thing happened, and now I've got no time to really get to know anybody else, it's me and Clay. Yeah. Doors open, he's fit. Which is exactly what she thought he would be. He's going to be fit, but he's going to be an airhead. And he is a fit airhead.
And has some money.
With daddy issues.
Yeah, fam.
Which is even worse.
But and the most, like, disappointing thing, because I will say this season, and it's universal, the parents really did come, give great advice, really spoke words into the lives of the contestants, all the people that were going to hopefully get married. They really did. And the mom kept on telling her, like, you know, you don't need to, well, he doesn't need to worry about the parents thing. He can break these, like, generational curses thing that's, you know, plagued the family. So he doesn't need to worry about it. He just needs to focus on you. And then Eddie's response, but isn't he fine? I'm like, beauty fades. When he's cheating and he has his third baby mama, you want me saying, isn't he fine? Like, it was too much. And he may be attractive, but he ain't that attractive.
It was too much. There was also this issue of when they, so like with the other couples, they move into an apartment together, and their schedules are like the exact opposite. So in the 2 weeks that they're supposed to be living together, she barely sees him, which would be a red flag anyway, because the whole point of this is that we're supposed to be using this time to figure out if we're going to get married. I don't know what you're doing. Yeah. Which, if you're a person who's solely focused on your end goal, and you're not with the person, I'm just using that time to filling it with fantasy. Yeah. Oh, this is what's going to be like. Yeah. Oh, if he was here right now, he would be hugging me, kissing me, all of that. So you are now continuing the relationship with an imaginary person in your head. Yeah. Meanwhile, this guy's saying his work is important to him, so he can't come home and see you. And you were like, yeah, this is the man I want to marry. Yeah. And you've told your mum, you've told his mum. And he's still like, why would I come home when the place I'm going to next is closer? I'm sorry. What was his job that he had to sleep at the Airbnb?
I think it was it was it was a couple of different jobs. When she went to go see the parents and they were like, oh, so is Clay coming? She was like, maybe. I haven't seen him in a day and a half. I said, yeah, come on, please.
It's this thing that American people do as well, which I find like so bizarre. They'll have like 8 jobs. I'm like, when do you sleep?
About the money. It's the American dream.
Work. Well, it was not the American dream when it came to this relationship, because as I said earlier, every minute of every day he's talking about how he's too scared he's going to cheat. Yeah. He's either saying, I'm scared about the wedding because I'm not sure how I feel, and she says to him, if you don't say yes, we're done. Yeah,
exactly. She did say that.
She said that.
Made it very clear.
This was his response. Wow, that's deep. That's how you know this man is going to do it. He didn't say, I would absolutely hate to not be with you. Yeah. He didn't say, that really makes me sad, or I'm gonna do everything I can to not make that happen. He said, that's deep. That's a lot to throw on me right now. A lot to throw on you.
Come on.
I'm taking from your response that you're planning to say no. Yeah. Because why would you respond like that if he was planning to say yes?
Yeah. Everything about it, even when she walked up the aisle and he saw her, he was like, yeah, buddy. Or he said something a lot about her body.
No, he said, come on, body. And she said, you see the material? And he said something, and then she said, period.
I was like, this is so...
Oh, he said, I can work with that. And she said, period. And I said...
Come on.
Oh, it was when she was coming up the aisle, and he went...
Yeah, and
he did this like weird sort of... I was like, oh, yeah,
he's going to say no so
it's
quick.
A no. It was a very goofy smile, like, in a like...
Oh, no, I'm about to say no.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
I think it's nice when you see the banter between the bride and the groom. Like,
he said you got that shit on.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's like it's cute and it's sweet when it happens. Like I remember Tiffany and Brett's wedding from 2 seasons ago. It was like one of my favorite weddings that I've watched on Love Is Blind. It was so fun. They did a little dance. It felt like really like joyous, but it felt serious. You could tell, like, he wants to be there. He wants to marry her. She wants to marry him. Whereas this one felt like they always had a chat. They were doing a bit of flirting when they're supposed to be saying yes and I do at the altar. And also the whole idea of, like, just commenting about her body, which is not a bad thing because she has an amazing body and she is beautiful. But everything about AD and the relationship she had with Clay was all about appearance. Yeah, like, it never had depth.
And he still couldn't, even on that day. And that, again, would have been like, that is the final nail in the coffin for me. When he spoke about her, whenever he spoke about her, even to his family, to his friends, whenever anybody would ask, he'd be like, what I love about AD is what she does for me. Yeah. I love what she does for me. I love that she would ride for me. I love that she would die for me. I love that she is my biggest cheerleader. Everything he experiences is with him in front and centre. Yeah. So he literally couldn't speak about her without speaking about himself. Yeah. And I don't know why you would find a man like that attractive. No. You've been with him for a month, and he's not able to say once. But why? She's smart. Yeah. She's kind. She's affectionate. She is talented. No, he said she loves me. Yeah. Which I love. Which is crazy.
Oh my god.
He says no at the altar. She leaves in tears. She says something that at the time broke my heart. Then afterwards I was like, yeah, because you keep picking
the wrong dude.
But she was like, why am I not enough? Yeah. I feel like you used me as an I was a sacrifice, and she's dead right.
Do you know what that reminds me of? Insecure, when Issa sees Lawrence, and I think Lawrence had moved on. He had had a child with someone. I can't remember the woman's name, and she was like, I made him so that he could be for the next woman. Like I built him up so that he could be for the next woman. I kept on thinking about that. But there's some women out there that unfortunately they meet the guy and the next woman he meets he ends up marrying, or he ends up settling down with, and you're like, you used me as the experiment.
Yeah. When I was younger, I was definitely I see potential. Yeah. I'll fix this up. And then it will be mine. I would have done all that work and it will be mine. And if I had done that work, I would equally be sitting here today telling you about how I turned that man into something and now he's with someone else. Yeah, you're doing Captain Save-A-Ho. Yeah. If you need consultancy work, advertise. Yeah. If you want to hire me to change your life, I'm more than happy to do that. But pretending we're in a relationship when the only person who's growing and changing is you, and I am becoming less and less of myself. She was becoming more stupid as that relationship went on, just parroting the same lines. I love him so much. I want him. He's my king. I can't wait to be led by him. I want him to be the head of. I was like, this is so bizarre.
Again, it's the idealized.
What has he shown you?
No, it's
that will tell you that he can lead you even in a supermarket, let alone in your actual life.
She was idealizing the idea of it, the same way that Jimmy was idealizing the idea of being a husband to Chelsea. Same with Chelsea too. Like, again, and it's hard because we're in this experiment where you get engaged after 10 days, and you know what Love Is Blind is about, and you've seen the success stories, the few and far between. Like, you do have this idea in your head of like, I'm gonna meet this person, meet them in the pods, we'll get married, life will be,
But that's the wrong way to look at it. Yeah. It's like, I hope I meet someone that I want to marry, and then go. But I think you're right. All of these people came in and said, by hook or by crook, I'm going to the altar, which is not the way to approach it. It's by hook or by... I'm going to completely submit myself to this experiment and see if I can meet someone. If I don't...
No, I don't.
I would have learned something from going on 16 dates a day, right? Yeah. But I'm not going to measure my worth by whether or not I'm able to bag someone in this situation. Because if that's what I'm doing, I'm going to make a bad decision because I'm just going to choose whoever chooses me first. Yeah. And that's why I'm about this the way you're supposed to think about it. And then he comes in after he's pied you off. Sorry, I can't believe I forgot this. Before this, I feel like I'm with him because he was like, I didn't know I was going to say yes or no in the reunion. I do believe that if his dad had not come in and given him that pep talk, he might have said yes at the altar. His dad came in just before. This is what I heard. Son, when you run a race, you got to make sure you got your shoes on. You got to make sure you're at the starting line, and you got to make sure you run. Oh my God, Dad, yeah, I totally get it. He's like, you don't win a race if you don't run. And he's like, yeah. Yeah, you know. And the starting line is only as far as you want it to be. I'm like, what are we talking about? Then he drops in the fact that he was almost at the Olympics and a track star's like, and this is why he is the way he is, because you came in on his special day and made it about you. So he only knows how to make things about him. And then you're telling him afterwards, speaking to the woman that you cheated on for 20 plus years, oh, he should just find a girl like you.
Oh my gosh.
I would have punched him in his face.
Oh my god.
What the fuck does that mean? She was like, yeah, and look how you treated me. Yeah. That's not what I would have got from that. I would have been like, oh, so he should find himself a little doormat.
Yeah.
Who's going to let him cheat on her for 20 years.
Oh my god. That conversation with
dash a drink in your face, bro.
There's certain conversations where you feel like this should not be on camera. That was one of the conversations.
But I had to fast forward through that because I was like, this is so unpleasant.
It's like
I don't know. I respect her for not punching him in the face, but me personally, I couldn't do it.
Like if you are a child of divorce, like seeing your parents together and they're not in the same room and they're not together has that same level of awkwardness. It's the same way with what was that girl's name? And her parents both walked down the aisle.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, Bliss.
Yeah.
Bliss and her parents walked down the aisle and they were there bickering over her.
That was so messy.
It was so messy. That is again an epitome of having divorced parents in the same vicinity trying to communicate, knowing that they were not able to communicate in the marriage.
That communication broke down and never
came back.
Never came back.
So.
Yeah, so he did that, and I feel like that completely threw him off. But I think that points to the issue being like, if your dad has this
power,
so much sway over you, and then the worst thing is after that conversation, in his talking head, he's like, "That's the most advice my dad's ever given me in my life." Jesus. And I said, "What advice did he give you?"
There was no advice. There was just analogies.
A bunch of analogies, and then he left, and he that. And I remember him, because it really stuck out to me as a bizarre thing to say. Yeah. But he's like, my dad's so cool in the pod. He's like, my dad's so cool. He's so charming. Like, he might try and hit on you.
Yes, he did say that. Well, you know, there's the creepy old man type of thing, but yeah.
But because whenever people say that, they're not joking.
No.
Which points to an issue. You're telling your dad doesn't respect you enough not to hit on your girlfriend. And you don't respect yourself enough to say, hey, dad, don't do that, actually. Like, I'm setting a boundary. You're not going to talk to my partner in that way.
There's deeper issues in that relationship. Much deeper issues.
I cannot stress enough how much she dodged a bullet. And in her head, she was like, no, that's my man, that's my man, that's my man.
She dodged it.
But you would have been trapped in a family that needs so much help that you would have eventually... It would have driven you mad and you would have left. Yeah. Or you guys would have started a family and he wouldn't be able to support you because he can barely function in the family that he's already in.
I mean, in the reunion, Clay was almost on the verge of tears, saying that he needed to do the work, he wasn't ready, and he was kind of sorry that he
was calling her the love of his life.
Yeah, I was like, please don't.
Yeah, I was like, no.
Sorry that, I put you through it. Because, of course, Clay will meet someone and marry someone. Is he going to look back and be like, well, she was the love of my life? AD was not the love of your life, fam.
Again, I just find it to be very manipulative language.
Yeah.
Because you're now telling me I'm the love of your life, but you had an opportunity to make me your forever love. And you said, nah. You said, nah. And you could have handled that so differently. If what your real intentions was to be with her and you knew you weren't ready, you guys could have had that conversation.
100%.
You could have had that conversation. Instead, you would not straight with her. You were the whole time trying to figure a way you could get out of it and also still get to fuck her, maybe. Yeah. I don't know what it is he wants from her, but I don't buy it.
No.
I just don't buy it. And
I'm glad if they're not together. I'm glad. I've heard rumours that they may have reconciled. I mean, in the reunion, we found out that AD went on a few dates with Matthew.
Yeah, but she also said she'd been on a few dates with Clay.
Oh, yeah, she did.
So,
but either way, why are you still bouncing between these two guys that were not good for you? It's like Olivia Pope.
Pope? Olivia Pope?
It's like Olivia Pope.
That Popey
bit. Between just bouncing between two men. Like there's more men out there.
There are more men in the world.
There are more men
in the world.
So...
And you're a very attractive woman.
Yeah,
you're funny. You're cute. I really enjoyed. I'm so glad that they cast her on the show.
Oh, I think she was good.
Just such great TV.
Yeah.
I think you're not going to struggle to find a partner. The thing that's making you struggle to find a partner is who you're looking for.
Who you're picking?
Because for you to even give Matthew a chance after that is crazy. Unhinged.
I'm so
sorry.
After
you watch the show as well. Or before you watched the show?
I'm hoping that they were dated before the show.
I think it probably would have been before the show, right?
Before.
But,
yeah. Because Matthew was an attractive guy. So maybe she was like, oh, he's actually
She said that. She said he was cute. Yeah. And everyone in the audience was like... Anyway.
Kenneth and Brittany.
Is
it Brittany?
Couple.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Tiffany. It was Brittany. It was Brittany.
Yeah,
I said Tiffany earlier. It was Brittany. Sorry. Brittany. My apologies. They did not make it.
We didn't expect it. They broke up in the second batch.
Immediately.
Yeah.
All because when they came back from the honeymoon, moved into the apartment, Brittany's so excited. Where do you want to put your stuff? Where am I going to put it? This man was on his phone.
Yeah.
And I mean on his phone in a way that's like, he's not even engaged in conversation. He's not looking up from it. He is just head down in his phone. She's talking to herself, essentially, when she's asking questions. Every minute of every scene that we see him in from that point onwards, he is on his phone.
Yeah.
Brittany then brings up to him that, like, just because they're not having sex doesn't mean they can't be affectionate.
Yeah.
She just liked to feel like he wants her a bit more. And he was like, but I did do that yesterday. And she's like, again, that doesn't mean that you've been doing it the whole time. You just think you did it yesterday. He was like, yesterday I came in at 3 a.m. when you were asleep and I had to be up at 6 a.m. And I woke you up and I gave you a kiss and you didn't like it. So I don't know what else I can do for you, is what he said to her. He was like, I think it's in your head that you don't like me and you need to work through that. And in fact, maybe we don't work for it. Maybe we're done.
That's pretty much how the breakup happened. He spoke his way through the breakup and was like, okay, my friends are coming. I'm going to see you now. Let's have a hug.
Yeah.
Hug goodbye. Don't be sad. See you later. It was so cold.
I tell you, she thought she was bringing up a tiny issue to her partner and ended up without a partner. Yeah. That is the way that night ended for her. She's sobbing as well. Heartbroken. She's like, I love you so much. I just, this is just this one thing. It just feels really weird. And he said, it's you. You're the one being weird. I'm being fine. I'm a great guy. I'm leaving.
And I think it's hard because the way that scene was maybe edited as well, it felt so abrupt. So all of a sudden, as soon as he's left,
also on his phone while they're having this conversation.
Yeah, which doesn't help. Yeah,
conveniently texting his friend, being like, "Oh, my friend's gonna be here in 5 minutes." Yeah. So you must have texted him at the top of the conversation, being like, "Come and get me."
Yeah, I'm gonna go now, because the way that the music changed and it just went to the next scene, and I was like, "Huh? Is that it? They're broken up." It was like midway through one of the episodes. It just felt so insignificant. And perfectly honest, they were always the forgotten couple for me, because alongside Amy and Johnny. But I was thinking, and I think we did our predictions, and I was like,
they might make it.
They might make it. I was like, they've got good values, but below them, they've got a good foundation. They've got similar values, but again, faith is not enough.
No,
I don't think, given that Brittany was the first white woman he's ever dated, I said in my head, I do not think this guy would marry her. In terms of white women, like, I think that I always said in my mind, I think the race would be a big barrier, but I thought that the values would be enough to keep them going.
I thought the values were going to be enough, and to be honest, she is gorgeous. I don't think that he was attracted to her, but I also don't think he was trying to be attracted to her.
And there's been rumours.
I think that the issue with her saying, I'm going to wait till marriage, added to that, because I think if they had been fooling around, then maybe the attraction would have come, and they wouldn't have been in that situation at that point, being like, I don't know if we like each other. But I think she was incredibly smart to do that, because if you cannot be affectionate to me without getting your penis out, then I think that this won't work, will it?
Yeah.
And I guess they were a lesson in, even if your values and your what you want out of life align, there are really basic human things that go into being in a relationship, and you've got to want to be with each other in that way. And if you don't want to be with each other, it doesn't matter. We're not colleagues.
No, actually, this is supposed to be husband and wife.
Yeah, we're not starting a business.
Yeah, like, this is an intimate relationship.
There has to be a level of intimacy, and there was never any intimacy between the two.
They always came across as not even like good friends, just like
two people
acquaintances. Yeah,
we've been paired up for science.
I mean, in the reunion, she said that he texts
their best friend.
They text all the time. I'm like, good on you, girl. Like, I'm glad you got a friendship out of this. Some people don't even get that, so, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it would be hard, I think, to not be friendly with her because she really didn't do anything wrong, right?
No.
Him, I mean, me personally, I would want to be friends with someone who would break, like, this, like...
It just disregards you.
It's honestly the same as the Jeremy thing, which we'll come to, where it's like, you didn't even try to fight for me?
Yeah.
You even tried to... He said, we can't fix a situation like this, so let's pack it up.
Yeah.
Very weird behaviour if you love someone. I just can't imagine loving someone, then being like, I have an issue with this, and then me being like, get out of my house.
Yeah.
Get out.
You planned it already.
I'm not mad.
Yeah, but I'm going to go now.
But, like, I just think we have to be done now.
No, I think he was waiting for an opportunity to duck out of the situation, and she provided it. So, and there's people like that where they don't like the confrontation, so they will just keep on doing things that they know will annoy you, so that you can bring it up, so they can be like, oh wait, like, as you, like, given that we're now here, I'll tell you the things I don't like about you. Yeah. And it just is really toxic. So
should we move on to Jeremy and Laura?
Let's do it.
Who would have thought that the most explosive love triangle was not going to be Jimmy and Jess and Chelsea, but bloody Laura and Jeremy and Sarah Ann, who, by the way, I either fast forwarded through their dates or my brain just deleted her because she is the most irritating person. And all I remember from the pods was when he was like, do you like to take pictures? And she was like, yeah, I have Instagram and blah blah. And you could tell he'd zoned out. And I was like, damn, he's gonna break up with this girl just because he thinks she's superficial. Yeah. Anyway, he's chosen Laura. They've gone on their honeymoon now. They're back. He meets her family. She meets his family. Things seem to be going well. Yeah. Then, one night, he goes out with the boys. I'm assuming boys from the show. Yeah. And they tell him that Sarah Ann is there. And he says, I think I need to speak to Sarah Ann to just get it out of the way. Cut to 5 hours later, he's still speaking to Sarah Ann. The club has been closed. He says, I dropped Sarah Ann home and then I came home. No, he doesn't say that. He says, I spoke to her in the parking lot and then I came home. Meanwhile, he shared his location with Laura. So Laura sees that he was in the parking lot for a while and then you drove to the part-time that Sarah Ann lives in. So you didn't come home straight from the club. You went to Sarah Ann's house. He was like, I don't want to talk about that. She was like, okay, so you was going to come in here and lie to my face. Yeah. He just, the whole time that she's talking to him about this as well, he's just sitting there with this, like, he's just completely disassociated, which would have been so infuriating, I'm sure, for her. Yeah. To be speaking to someone who's like, and being like, what's going on? And the person is just not even trying to engage with you. And I flagged this when they had their argument in the honeymoon. He left her at the party, and then when she got home, he was sleeping on the couch and didn't speak to her for the entire evening. I was like, those kind of people that will ice you out, like, that is a particular type of cruelty that, like, you either have to be built for or it won't work. Yeah.
Also, it's a sign of, like, not being able to manage conflict or just being able to handle confrontation.
It's much like a situation that we're going through right now.
Likewise.
Where, not between the two of us, but, like, where somebody just decides, oh, there's an issue and I'm going to close myself off.
Not say a single word.
Yeah. And now we're all in this, now we're in this weird stalemate where it's like, are we in a fight or are we not in a fight? Yeah. But we can't sort it because we can't speak about it. And the person who is actually the one who's caused the trouble is protecting themselves, is using that silence to cloak themselves so that they don't have to deal with what they did. And he did the exact same thing. He just closed himself off. So she's like ranting and raving to a brick wall essentially. And then I think she asked him to leave, or she says she's going home to her apartment. Yeah. Jump to, we're at this cookout, and he's like, I haven't seen Laura in like 6 weeks, in like a week. I haven't spoken to her. I tried to reach out to her, but she was rude to me.
She's now changed my name from fiance to my actual name.
Just Jeremy. Yeah. And Laura comes to the thing, they have this conversation. But what she says to the girls, I think, is why it's, and what he then says, so basically she speaks to the girls and she's like, I just find it really weird as well. He's telling me nothing happened. but clearly something, like, you first you told me you didn't go to her house, but clearly you did.
Yeah.
So why would I believe you when you said you didn't sleep with her?
Yeah.
I just want you to be honest, but equally, he's not fighting for me.
Yeah.
He hasn't reached out to me. He said, I did, but you was rude to me, so I stopped. Again, is that the nature of what love is? Yeah. I made one attempt to speak to you, and you didn't bite, so I'm never going to speak to you again. And then when they have a conversation, he's like, I am willing to fight for you. I'm willing to fight for you. She's like, well, I don't get the impression you are. Blah, blah. At the end of the conversation, she says, look, I'll come by to come and get my stuff. He's like, I was already in boxes. If you wanted your girlfriend, your fiancé back, why have you boxed up my stuff?
Yeah.
He said, you're dead to me, period. You're gone.
Basically, he's coming to do this for the TV.
And I think that is so scary. And I feel like people like that who are able to go, just flip a switch and be like, everything that we've experienced to now, done. You are literally, the way you're behaving is like she died or she got hit by a car and you need to pack her shit up and give it back to her family.
He made a decision when he went to go see Sarah Ann.
100%. I was just like, it's to me unimaginable. I cannot, and unfathomable. I don't know what the logic is there. I don't know how you do that. Like, I'm a person who I feel like I will, in trying to protect myself, maybe close myself off from you when I feel like you're closing yourself off from me. But I don't think I've ever, to the extent where we haven't even had a conversation, I've lived my entire life as if you don't exist anymore and we're done.
That's wild. For people that can do that, they're built differently.
I would have so many questions. That's why I couldn't just be like, and bye forever.
You're done.
And bye forever.
Yeah.
But what I've learned about those people is what they want is for you
to reach out to them.
Come back, cap in hand, as they say, and be like, please.
Yeah.
And that is something I won't do. If you said you're gone, or I'm dead to you, then I'm dead to you. And that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to play the,
Panda.
What did I do? How do you fix it? No, that's what they want.
Yeah.
They've created a situation which they're in the wrong, and they've manipulated it so that now you need to come to them and say sorry.
Yeah.
What did I do? You disrespected me, and I took space to myself, and you have ended the relationship.
Yeah.
And now I'm supposed to come and do what?
Panda and come back and
I'll come and get my stuff. In fact, no, Jake, I won't even come. Call a courier. Tell them to deliver it to my house. Put it in the back of an Uber. I didn't need to come and see you again.
Yeah.
It was so mad. Then, from this conversation, by the way, not even the next day, Sarah Ann, let's go get on jet skis.
When they would do that jet ski thing, I said, he didn't care.
He did not care about her at all, which is scary.
Yeah, he didn't care.
It's scary.
Because Sarah Ann, again, she's come, doesn't really care, depending on herself, saying, I didn't do anything wrong. Even the AD tried to check her and told her.
AD ate her up.
Told her, like, so what are you doing?
Sense. What you did was disrespectful. She's like, oh, you have to understand I'm trying to shoot my shot. You can shoot your shot and still be disrespectful.
Yeah.
But claim it. That's my issue with Sarah Ann. I don't mind a person who is like, yeah, I did what I needed to do. And I didn't care at the time, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't particularly care now. Yeah. Like, if I cared about it, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Like, because I would be like, oh, no, I feel too bad about Laura. I don't feel bad about Laura. That's why I did it. So you're coming to me now I'm not even going to try and justify. I don't need to justify myself because I did do it, and I would do it again.
Which she basically was doubling down at the reunion that she would.
But it's too late to double down at the reunion when in front of people you've been acting like, oh, well, I didn't mean it, and I blah, blah, and blah, 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 blah. Either you're that girl or you're not that girl. That's what I don't like. Because at the reunion, she's giving it the big, I don't think I need to apologise for anything because I didn't do anything wrong. If you care about someone, well, you're not supposed to be with them? Yeah. Okay, but where was this room when you stood in front of... Now Laura's not here. She's on the Zoom. You're feeling hot and bothered. And now, oh yeah, well, the girls kicked me out of the group chat. So blah, blah, blah. Sorry, why would we have you in the group chat? You're not a nice person.
And you don't respect the husbands, as we know. So how are we supposed to know that you're not going to do the same thing to Jimmy? You're not going to do the same thing to Clay? Or who's the last guy? Johnny.
You're messy boobs. Yeah. And you can't even come here and put your hands up and be like, you're right, I'm messy. Yeah. Do you know what? Fair enough. I would like to be friends with you girls, but also really deep down, no, I wouldn't. Yeah. That's why I'm out here stealing people's men's, because I don't really care about you guys. Yeah. Live in it. Why are you complaining about not being in the group chat? You don't want to be friends with us. I don't know how you thought you was going to steal someone's husband and then come and sit in the group chat and do what? You guys could have handled that so differently. You could have handled it in a way that at least Laura maybe could have made the choice to step back if she felt like, oh, if you're really feeling feelings for this girl, I'm not going to marry you. So I'm going to say, let's not get married and you need to figure out where you stand. And that way, nobody's feelings... Well, of course, your feelings are going to be hurt if your partner is having feelings for someone else. But he was having feelings for someone else when he was in the pods.
Yeah.
It's not like Sarah Ann is a new situation.
No, so it was always between you and Sarah Ann. You knew that.
So I feel like you could probably make allowances for that. What you can't make allowances for is fully, we're about to get married, you've met my family, all this, that, and then you're hanging out with Sarah Ann all night, hopping on jet skis in front of my face.
Yeah, that is insulting. Look, I'm happy for... What's her face? What's her name again? Laura. I'm happy for Laura that she's met someone, she announced it at the reunion. She seemed happy and she really dragged
they got... Everyone was dragging them.
Yeah.
They got dragged
but I
up
think
and
they
down.
needed it because Jeremy took no remorse for what he did. And Stacey Ann, neither did she. So.
I think he is a sociopath. Yeah. Like, the way that he is just so... I don't really see why we need to... I don't have to explain myself to anyone. It's crazy. I think it's crazy. Yeah. And then we had one more sociopath. Actually, I don't call him a sociopath. I don't know what his game was.
It was a game.
They said, surprise, surprise, Trevor's here. And I think Trevor thought, literally, Trevor thought he was coming in there to be like, Chelsea, I love you. Yeah. Leave Jimmy for me. We can run away together. And the way they opened it as well, being like, the internet is in love with you. They're saying, protect Trevor at all costs. We're Team Trevor. He's smiling, he's lapping it up. They're like, but it turns out he had a girlfriend the whole time.
Bruh.
He's like, eyes dart. I've never seen anybody's eyes dart.
He didn't look down and darting, looking left, right, darting.
I think he thought, I could get out of this. Yeah. And then they said, we have the receipts. And he just bowed his head while Nick and Vanessa read those texts out. They acted it out for us.
Line by line.
And Nick said, you will not leave this stage until you explain yourself. Yeah. He said, I don't want to be here anymore. He said, oh, but you decided to get up from your house and join an experiment when you was in a relationship with someone. Yeah. Oh, but what you don't understand is that relationship was toxic and I was coming on the show to try and find someone new. He's like, but you told her you wanted to marry her. He's like, yeah, I only said that because nobody wanted to marry me in the book. Babe, stop talking.
I'm telling you, that was the only time I was like, oh, Nick and Vanessa really worked hard for their paycheck today.
They said, they dragged Sarah Ann up and down, and they said, we're dragging Trevor up and down. And anybody else who comes on this show trying to get famous, that's why Shake never came on.
No.
If Shake had come on, they would have dragged him as well.
I just don't understand, like, these villains, they should be, like, contractually obliged to be on stage. Because Matthew, I mean, even though Matthew's storyline would have been absolutely nothing at the reunion, it was still good to have him there.
Yeah, if you're getting Trevor on to pay for his sins, you should get,
Matthew.
You know. But what I just found it really interesting that he clearly had something up his sleeve to get out of it. And when the receipts came, he just sort of had to sit there. And I like that they called it out because I was like, when the stuff was happening online for Jeremy, because they called Jeremy out on this as well.
Yeah. For
Jeremy and for Trevor, it was like, well, what is the point of the show if you're just going to bring people on fully in relationships to come in here and waste people's time? Mm-hmm. And I think that Nick, at least because he seems, quite dim, probably really believes in the show and the magic of the show and the magic of love and fairies. He's not having it. He said, I'm not having it. I don't want people watching the show seeing someone like you and thinking they're going to come on here and do the same thing. If you come on here, they said, they've made it plain and clear at this reunion. If you come on here to muck around, you will get dragged for filth at this reunion. Unless you really want to be a villain and live in your villain truth, don't do it.
Yeah.
I think it made maybe a couple of people watching it think twice about coming on there to try and start their career.
I do think it's good because, like, this is the thing with Love is Blind. We always have this struggle between the love and the drama, and there have definitely been seasons where we have so outweighed the drama, the love is completely lost, and you don't get any happy stories or happy love. Like, even last season, one couple finished. This season, one couple is really not great. But I did find this season a lot more entertaining.
Yeah, this season was entertaining, and I feel like maybe it's like it really makes you think about the way that you're maturing as well. But like I just found myself being like, oh, you can see which ones are doomed a lot quicker, and it's not just like the editing and the music and she's not as hot as I think she is. It's just like you can see the way that like your communication styles are off. Yeah, what you want from a marriage is off. And your own personal issues will get in the way of your. Like, the thing Clay's character was the same throughout. And that's why you can't, like... be too mad at him because he did say
that I would make cheat on you.
And you said, I want it. Because you want to get married.
And he was like, oh, I was really inspired by Brett. Because, at the reunion, they brought all the...
I found that very spooky. I didn't like that.
Neither did I. They brought most of the successful couples from previous seasons on, as well as Giannina. Every time I say her name wrong. Giannina and her boyfriend, fiance...
Partner.
Who is from the Bachelor world.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was a runner-up on one of the Bachelorette seasons. It was just wild. Why is he on there? But look, it was nice to have them. No, to be honest, they added nothing. But for that moment where Clay was like, "Oh, Brett, I watched your season and I was really inspired by you," I was like, no, because Brett was completely different. Like, he knew exactly what he wants. He was a bit older, and there was no messing around. He never stood there and said to Tiffany, "Oh,
my fear is I'm gonna cheat on you."
Exactly. So for me, that was nonsense. But I hope he's doing a lot better. I hope the therapy, like he's going to therapy now. I hope that's something that he can find some healing in. And most importantly, I'm very glad that a lot of these couples didn't make it down the aisle.
Yeah, they have no business being together.
Absolutely don't.
They have no business. So Chelsea of Chelsea and Kwame is now working for Love Is Blind's casting.
Interesting.
So I'll be interested to see what we get next year, because that is quite meta to have someone who's been on the show be part of the show in that sense. What qualifies her to be a good casting?
I don't know. I don't even know what her background is for her to do it. But also, I think they announced that Izzy, Jess, and Micah are gonna be on Perfect Match Series 2. So that will be interesting.
That goofy old show.
That would be very goofy. I mean, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it, but that show is not about.
Oh, it's not about love. No. They lost that very quickly. But then that being said, we love things like this. Love Island games. That did well. Me personally, I'm down for the love. But the thing about Perfect Match Series 1, it was just messy. I think Shane and the other girl, the one that ended up leaving because, and then went into like an LGBTQ plus relationship. Like that, everything about and Damien, goodness me, weird.
Messy.
Yeah. What would you rate Series 6 of Love Is Blind?
7.
Out of 10.
Yeah.
If it was 3 out of 10.
But the reunion was at 8.
I was like, the reunion was okay. I mean, yeah, it was okay. I don't know. It's like I enjoyed this season, but I feel like I've enjoyed previous seasons more. Maybe 6.5.
Okay.
Or maybe 7. 7 for everything. I just felt like maybe because there wasn't that many couples down the line, and also maybe because there was no one I was really rooting for. No. Like Amy and Johnny, I knew they were gonna be fine, but I wasn't rooting for them like the way that I rooted for, Tiffany and Brett, and of course Lauren and Cameron, and some of these couples that I was like, look, I know they're gonna probably say yes, but I'm just excited to see them. There was no excitement to see any of these couples, but the good thing is that a lot of the couples didn't make it down the aisle and they made the right choice. The only time it didn't shock me, well, actually, no. I think a lot of our predictions were correct. Me saying the majority of them wouldn't do it. Wouldn't make it. And they didn't. But we wish Amy and Johnny the best. Yeah. We wish all the other contestants the best.
Congratulations on the babies.
Oh, yeah, and so many babies now. Yeah, Vanessa will be happy.
So many babies.
Vanessa was shouting about baby.
She didn't ask the question this time.
Thank God, because people dragged her. It was too much.
What are we watching next week?
So next week, we're either going to do Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah, let's do Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Yeah. And then let's do Makeover.
The week after that. Yeah. Okay. We're going to do that. It's been a fun one. Love Is Blind always takes over.
Yeah, it does.
Honestly.
You think you're going to do a little 2-minute segment?
Done. But I'm looking forward to talk about Mr. and Mrs. Smith. It was fun. It was really fun. Oh, yeah. Spoiler, but we'll talk about it. Anyway, this has been Scripts and Giggles with Shoshanna
and Marnie.
Bye.
Bye.